Listen, Traore is saying that democracy is not working in Africa. It is as simple as that. And he's saying that democracy is killing Africa. That Africa has to look for a model that will suit Africa as a continent before Africa will realize its potential. So in a nutshell, Traore is saying that democracy is killing Africa and we cannot buy into the idea of the so-called democracy. And allow me to be a bit melodramatic because most of the so-called democratic countries, they are not indeed democratic. Take a good example of Democratic Republic of Congo. It is not democratic in one way, but within the namings of the country, there is a word called democratic. So democracy is not for Africa. That is direct from Traore. Now, let's listen to what Traore is talking about in relation to democracy. Then we can come further and analyze this video. Let's watch this.
Excellencies, the Charter of the Revolution was recently adopted by the People's Legislative Assembly. So this charter gives you the possibility to run in almost all elections. Some see this as a kind of open road to a lifelong hold on power. What is your response to that?
First of all, I don't even know why people brought up the issue of elections. No, even the old charter that was already included in it. It's not in the latest vote that the issue of elections was added. No, that's old. People brought this up with a certain mindset. No, we're not even talking about elections. First of all, we have challenges and we need to meet those challenges. We are sticking to our guiding principle. We're not going to bend at all. People need to forget about the issue of democracy. And that's a task. We have to tell the truth. Democracy is not for us. The kind of democracy those people want us to see, we're not interested in it. We don't even want it. Normally, if someone comes to talk to an African about democracy, if he comes to you like that talking about democracy, you should run away. Democracy kills. That's democracy. That's what they want. Look at Libya. It's an example right next to us. They lived in peace, didn't they? They lived in peace. Water was free. There were so many things that were free. When people got married, they already received social benefits and everything. But today, some Libyans walk around with jerry cans looking for water all over the place. Look at the misery there is. How many hundreds of thousands of children have died? That's democracy. Everywhere they want to install democracy in the world, it's in blood. May God spare us from this democracy. We have our own model. We're not even looking, it seems, for someone else's. We came to completely change the way things work, but above all to change mindsets so that people open their eyes, see the world, and so that we never fall into that trap again. People are here, democracy is slavery. There is no democracy in this world. They pretend there is. They do as they please, and to establish it, they kill. Democracy that kills, we do not want democracy. May God spare us from that kind of democracy. We are focused on our conquest, on our rebuilding, and on the revolution. It is the only path to development.
So look, Traore is saying that we have to look for models that is responding to African realities. It's as simple as that. That if we don't look for models that are responding to African realities, then we as Africans are totally done. The models should be meant by Africans, made for Africans, and will have to respond to the realities within the African geographical location. Let me take you a little back. There's this American by the name Henry Clark. He said that there is no way that Africa is going to realize its potential if it's depending on the Western-centered model for its development. It is as simple as that. And this one was made by an American. That even in the next 500 years, if we depend on the same model, at least to realize our potentials as Africans, then we will never realize our potential. Then what does this even mean? It means that we as Africans should come together, craft a model that will respond to our realities, then work towards what the model states, and at the end of the day, we'll realize our potential, we as Africans. That is the main reason why Burkina Faso President Traoré has just abolished major political parties. Actually, in Burkina Faso, there's no this concept of political parties. So the government suspended political parties, but now, as we are speaking, the government abolished all political parties. Why? Because Traore thinks that political parties, they act as stumbling blocks towards realization of African success. That is what Traore is saying. That political parties, number one, they are dividing us, we as Africans. That you can have even your spouse, even though he or she is your spouse, you belonging to different political parties just act as a division between the two of you. So that is the main reason why Traore did away with the political parties in Burkina Faso. So democracy is killing Africa. He also gives an example of Libya. Look at what Libya was back then and what Libya is right now. Total different dispensation. Post Muammar Gaddafi and pre-Muammar Gaddafi. Just look at what Libya is going through. All because of the so-called democracy. Okay? So democracy in one way or another, it is a hindrance block towards African success. That is according to Traore. But at the same time, we've realized that Traore indeed is talking sense. Even though he has done away with political parties, we also have countries in Africa where they plan to extend presidential term limits, at least to make sure that the citizens of those countries realize growth. Because they are saying that five-year period, a presidential term period is 5 years, majorly in most African countries. So a country like Zimbabwe, presidential term year is 5 years, okay? So they are planning to add to 7 years, so as at least people to realize growth, because they believe that 5 years is too little to realize growth. Well, it depends. That's according to me, it depends. We have African leaders who've been in power 30 years since independence, or even 50 years since independence, or even 40 years since independence, but their countries are still punching below their weights. Why? Because of the mere fact that they are not patriotic African leaders. Most of African problems we are realizing now, it's simply and squarely one of leadership. We are electing people into power, people who don't have love for their country, people who are acting as puppets to the Western countries. So we as Africans should unite, and should unite immediately. And we should talk positively of what is going on in Africa. Okay? We should talk positively of what is going on in Africa. Look at what Traore is doing. This guy is, even though he is not even given time, he is not given audience in the African Union. 90% of Africans, they know who Traore is. Why? Because Traore is doing massive development in Burkina Faso. Something that we as Africans, we are desiring to happen in each and every African country. Okay? This is what we want, man. We don't even mind if the leader comes from a tribe A or tribe B, or coming from majority or minority within the country. That one is inconsequential. We want just a leader who can spearhead our countries to another level as far as development is concerned. And that is what Traore is doing. He deserves flowers for that part. He deserves a part for the role that is playing to catapult Burkina Faso's economy to another orbit level as far as development is concerned. So, ladies and gentlemen, democracy, it's not working for Africa. We have to come up with a model that will respond to our realities. A model that will suit our geographical location. A model that is created by Africans crafted by Africans for Africa as a continent, then by doing that, we as Africa will realize our potential. It will not going to happen now. It's not going to happen soon. But I believe, I am positive that within this next decade, Africa will be far in terms of development because Africans are waking up. Young Africans are now embracing political seats because they want to take this continent to another level as far as development is concerned. So we have to give them flowers. We have to encourage them. We have to speak the good things that they are doing to this continent. So thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, kindly like this video and we meet next time. Bye-bye.